Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The next verse of Bhaja Govindam tells us that if we don't do the most important thing, we won't be able to get what we want in more than 100 lifetimes. But if we do what is most important, we can get it in this lifetime itself. Spiritual progress can be divided into two folds. First is preparing our mind, and then gaining this knowledge. And this verse beautifully explains that there's so many techniques by which we prepare our mind. We can go on pilgrimages, or take up certain vows of discipline, give abundantly in charity. One of the very well-known pilgrimages in India is when you take water from the Bay of Bengal, where Gangaji meets the ocean, and you carry this water down to Rameshwar and pour it there on the shivling that was built apparently by Sri Ramji himself. And so many people will do this on foot, and while they're doing so, practice immense austerity. Like some of them go barefoot, they don't eat the entire time, or they never stop, they walk at a particular place, they're carrying this heavy water. On one such pilgrimage, a great saint carrying the water along the way sees a donkey who was very, very sick and was apparently very thirsty. You can tell by the way the tongue is sticking out of the mouth. And so all these pilgrims walking past noticed the donkey. Maybe some of them even felt bad for him, but they carrying water and would continue to walk past. One great saint stopped and fed the water to the donkey. Others thought, that's holy water that you're meant to be pouring on the shivling. And he thought, what good is that if I let another creature suffer? This water, if it satiates this being and gives him kind of relief, that's also a worship. And the story is often told to show us that we miss the point. Yes, doing a pilgrimage is very important. It serves a purpose in the journey of our spiritual discovery. It helps us to have austerity. It helps us to focus the mind. It dedicates time separate from our daily routines to the Lord. But doing the pilgrimage is a means. It's to help us to prepare the mind. Doing charity is the means. Even taking up vows of discipline is the means. It's not the goal. The goal is moksha. But so many people get stuck in the means and forget that there's something more to work with. They get absorbed in only doing the details of the pilgrim or the charity or the vow. When Puja Guruji explains Bhaja Govindam, he says very beautifully that even though it's important, we give it more importance than we should. And Bhaja Govindam is excellent in telling us where our thinking goes wrong, where the mistake in our thought process lies. And even the know-it-alls of this world, they don't know where the flaw in their own thinking lies, and they don't even know necessarily that there is a flaw in their thinking. And here the flaw is mistaking the means for the goal. And when we do that, then naturally, jnana vihina sarvamatena bhajatina muktim janmasatena. Then it's saying here, without the goal of getting the knowledge, the preparing is preparing of the mind to get the knowledge, and without getting the knowledge, then even in 100 lifetimes, we will not be able to get moksha. It's like training for a race continuously, but then never actually running the race. Or preparing for a beautiful wedding, and then never actually getting married. And so we should definitely prepare the mind. We should understand the purpose that it serves in our spiritual unfoldment. Sometimes people go on pilgrimage and they'll hire a helicopter and they're in and out in 20 minutes and they think, wow, that was a beautiful darshan. But the point of pilgrimage is so that we dedicate time to think of the Lord. Very often when you see people going on Vaishno Devi Yatra or even to any other very well-known temple, while standing in the queue, there's constant chanting. And so that time of standing in the queue, or that time that it takes to walk up the mountain, the mind is constantly listening to the name of the Lord. And we too are inspired to constantly say the name of the Lord. And it develops within us this yearning to see the Lord. And that yearning to see the Lord should be there in our heart, to see the actual Lord, to get moksha. And so if we in and out in 20 minutes in a helicopter, that yearning may not actually take place, or that reflection and chanting to focus the mind on the Lord doesn't take place. And also usually in a pilgrimage, there's some kind of difficulty, like I said, walking up the mountain, or waiting in a queue when it's hot and there's so many people around, or some other difficulty maybe, like I said, that they deliberately go bare feet, they deliberately fast, they deliberately give up something for a few months before they go. And that discipline is also what prepares the mind to receive the knowledge. And sometimes discipline's not so easy to do. We will sleep a little late and then we wake up in a rush and hurried. We'll eat something and think, oh, every now and then doesn't matter, but it actually becomes more often than we originally planned. Or in speaking, we lapse into talking about other people without actually meaning to. But when we're doing yatra, when we're doing a pilgrimage and we're working towards that, then it's like, oh, this is special and I want to do this beautifully and I want to give it my all. And so then the discipline is a little bit more pronounced and then therefore more effective. And so going on pilgrimage is not about getting the vision of that murti or that idol, that form of the Lord. It's about all the preparation that goes into it, possibly months in advance. It's not about just sightseeing, that, oh, now I can tick that off my list, I've seen it, I had beautiful darshan or a vision of that form of the Lord. And when we know this, when we know that this is what pilgrimage is about, then as we're doing it, we ensure that we're disciplined, we ensure that we're chanting the name of the Lord. Not that we turn up into the town that we need to and then go for Pizza Hut because we're missing it, or go and watch a movie the night before, or worse still, do something else which is counterproductive to uplifting our mind. Knowing what's the means and understanding how it serves as a means helps us to do it in the right way and ensures that we reach the goal. So what is it that we want? If it's not moksha, what is it that we want? If it's not moksha, what else is it that we have set as our goal? And to get that goal, what are the means we are using? And are we sure the means is going to help us to get to that goal? Think about it.
For more in-depth talks from Swamini Supriyananda and other excellent teachers of the Chinmaya mission, you can subscribe to chinmayaclicks.com. You can also visit the Chinmaya channel on YouTube for bite-sized inspiration and discourses on in-depth Vedantic texts. To know about local classes, activities, and upcoming retreats, visit www.chinmayamission.com. And see you on the next podcast.